Okay. Hare Krishna. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Vande Ham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Shahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Shavadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakan Vitamscha. Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Panebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam panglunglam kayate girim jat kripa tamaham bande Sri Gurun Dinataranam Paramananda Madhav Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Am I audible? Anybody can respond to that?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, fine. So, welcome back to our Bhakti Sastri Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So, in the previous class, we started the 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, where we discuss about understanding Krishna, knowing Krishna fully through hearing. Yeah, Maya Sakta Mana Partha. Krishna start with that, concentrating our mind to Krishna through hearing. Tachrinu. So Krishna was asking Arjuna, Tachrinu, now kindly hear. And Prabhupada extensively explained in his purport that by hearing is very important. It is the basic, the foundation of our Krishna consciousness practice. Yeah, by hearing we develop attachment to Krishna. Yeah. And then we can understand Krishna in that way. And then in the second part of the discussion, we discuss about how Krishna is the source of both spiritual and material energies. Yeah, where Krishna mentioned the Bhumira Punalabayu. And then the third part of the discussion is that the three modes of material nature, they are controlled by Krishna, and therefore we have to surrender to Krishna. Yeah, Daivi Hiesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duradaya. So that was chapter 14. All right. So we continue our discussion today. So these are the topics of our discussion. From text number 15 to 19, 4 kinds of impious person who do not surrender to Krishna, and 4 kinds of pious persons who do. So we will be discussing about the Sukriti and Duskriti. And then text number 20 to 25, demigod worshippers and impersonalists whose surrender is misplaced. Yeah. And text 26 to 30, bewilderment of the living entity and knowledge of Krishna. So ultimately, Krishna Tattva Gyan can actually deliver the living entity from the entanglement of the material nature. Okay. So we start. 15 to 19. So verse 15 describes 4 types of unqualified person who do not surrender to Krishna and who sometimes pose themselves as leaders simply for material gain. And verses 16 to 19 describe 4 types of persons who surrender to Krishna, and how the wise man is the best because he does not desire some gain. So we will discuss about that. Yeah, Chaturvida Bhajantimam. And out of those four, the Jnanis are the best. The Jnanis are the best. Why? We will see. Krishna will give reason to that. Okay, so this is Duskriti versus Sukriti. All right, here it is. The four types of Duskriti. Yeah, we can see actually simply by seeing the word Duskriti. Duskriti means impious. Dus, the word dus means like very difficult, yeah, or very, uh, very bad. Yeah, very bad, impious. So namam duskritino muda prapadyante naradama mayaya pahrita jnana ashuram bhavamasita. So these are four types of people who do not surrender to Krishna. Those miscreants who are grossly foolish, mudha. Mudha means foolish. Yeah. Who are lowest among mankind. Narada. Nara Adama. Nara means human. Adhama means lowest. Whose knowledge is stolen by illusion. Mayaya apahrita gyan. And who partake of the atheistic nature of demons do not surrender unto me, unto Krishna. So Ashuram Bhavam, those who possess the quality of the Asura, Asura Bhava. Bhava means actually, sometimes Bhava is translated as ecstasy. Bhava means also nature. Yeah. Asura Bhava means those who have demoniac nature. So definitely they don't surrender to Krishna. Yeah. We will see this more elaborately explained by Krishna in chapter 16. Yeah, demoniac nature, the devotees and demoniac nature. Yeah. Let's see. This is Srila Prabhupada's purport. The atheistic plan makers are described herein by the word sukritina or miscreants. The atheistic plan maker is sometimes very intelligent and meritorious also, because any gigantic plan, good or bad, must take intelligence to execute. But because the atheist brain is improperly utilized in opposing the plan of the Supreme Lord, the atheistic plan maker is called Duskriti, which indicates that his intelligence and efforts are misdirected. So by saying Srila Prabhupada's purport, so what comes to our mind? Okay, if we trace back the history in the Puranas, for example, like so many great demons, and they possess, such a intelligence. For example, like Ravana. Ravana, he has desire to make staircase from the earth to heaven, and then he upside down the universal rules, the karma. He controlled the karma in the sense of those who perform good activities, they will be destroyed. So that was Ravana's mentality, and he wants to make the staircase to the heavenly planet. So people don't need to perform jagya, don't need to perform pious activities to achieve heaven. Because after all, at that time, Indra is also terrified by Ravana's rule. So this is one example. Ravana, he has 10 heads. Such intelligent person. Yeah. Hiranyakasipu. Hiranyakasipu also considered to be intelligent. Who can think of asking such a benediction to Lord Brahma? Ooh, Hiranyakasipu was so clever, but still, of course, that kind of intelligent, that kind of caliber, such kind of caliber, when it is diverted from the service of the Lord, then that's actually Mayaya Pahrita Jnana. Such kind of intelligence is actually stolen by Maya. It seems they are intelligent, but actually they are not at all intelligent. Etam drishtam avastabhya nastat manu alpa buddhaya prabhavanti ugra karmanam ksayaya jagato hitaha. Yeah. So etam drishtam avastabhya nasta atmano alpa buddhaya. So they have this intelligence, buddhi. Buddha means one who possesses buddhi. But alpa buddhayaha, their intelligence is considered to be very, very small, little, alpa buddhayaha, etam drishtam avastabhya. And Maya catch that intelligence and stolen. Their intelligence is stolen by Maya. Prabhavanti ugra karmanam, and the only thing that they can succeed is the ugra karma activity, the devastating activity. Yeah? Ugra karma. Ksayaya jagato hitaha. And as a result of such activities, jagato hitaha, ksayaya means to destroy. So they simply destroying the world. Srila Prabhupada, in many occasions in his lecture, talks about the modern scientists. Scientist means, professor, scientist. They are the brain of the whole world. We can say like that. They're very intelligent, very smart people. But because their intelligence is directed against the Lord, directed, away from the Lord's service. Srila Prabhupada said the plan maker, the atheistic plan maker. Atheistic plan maker means they have so many plans in their minds to conquer the world. They invent so many things, inventing this technology, that technology, and finally what? Simply ksayaya jagato hitaha, destroying the world, destroying the world. So these are the four types of people who do not surrender to Krishna. Yeah, Duskritina, demoniac. So Prabhupada wrote quite a long purport. So we will analyze one by one of the qualities of these four types of people. Yeah, the first one is that those who are the Muda. The Mudas are those who are grossly foolish, like hardworking beasts of burden. Yeah, like donkey. Yeah. Most often, those who work very hard day and night to clear the burden of self-created duties say that they have no time to hear of the immortality of the living being. To such mudhas, material gains, which are destructible, are lives of, sorry, to such mudas, material gains, which are destructible, are lives all in all, despite the fact that the mudas enjoy only a very small fraction of the fruit of labor. Yeah. So like donkey ashes. So sometimes we see that the washerman, the washerman, they utilize donkey. I don't know what about now. Traditionally, so the washerman will use donkey to put the cloth, load it over the back of the donkey, and then they will tie carrot on a stick. So they will put in the front of the donkey, and then donkey will chase this carrot. So in that way, the donkey move away. So Prabhupada explained that actually the donkey can get grass, ample of grass anywhere. But why he has to work so hard under a miserly person simply to get a bunch of, little grass, a carrot? So foolish. So similarly, we work so hard, many people working so hard. If we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 5th chapter, instruction by Rishabhadev, I think that was in the first verse. Yeah, Nayam Deho Deha Bhajan Riloke verse. Srila Prabhupada explained that he gives actually a practical example on our day-to-day life, that many people go by local train for 2 hours to go to their offices. and then they work for so many hours, and then come back at late night, and then being squeezed in the local train. And then they're working so hard, but how much they can enjoy their life. Yeah. So as Srila Prabhupada said, whenever we try to give books or invite for Krishna Katha, they will say, sorry, sir, I don't have time. So this is Buddha, simply working hard, but cannot really enjoy the result, cannot really enjoy their life. Yeah, they simply working like donkey. And then another class of Duskriti or miscreant is called the Naradhama, or the lowest of mankind. Yeah. Those who are socially and politically developed but who have no religious principles must be considered Naradhamas. Yeah. They don't care of any religious activities. The civilized form of human life is meant for man's reviving the lost consciousnness of his eternal relation with the supreme truth, the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna, who is all powerful. However, this chance is classified as Naradhama. Yeah. Still connected with the verse in the fifth canto by Rishabha that Nayam Deho Deha Bhajam Riloke Kastan Kaman Arhativid Bhujamye. So he mentioned that Nayam Deho Deha. So Deha means the body, especially the human form of body. So Nayam, the human form of life, is not meant for Nayam Deho Deha Bhajam Riloke Kastan Kaman Arhate. Kaman Arahate. Not meant for sense gratification, just to, running, working hard to fulfill our material kama. Kaman Arhate with Bhujamye. Because after all, sense gratification is available for the with bhuja. With bhuja means the stool eater. Yeah. Prabhupada translated as hog. Hog, yeah, stool eater with bhuja. So sense gratification is actually available even in the lower species of life, such as animals. And once I heard a lecture from His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj. He mentioned that actually the pig is more expert in enjoying the senses than the human. Okay, the pig is more expert in enjoying the senses compared to the human, especially in the sexual affairs, Maharaj said. So if the male pig meets with the female pig, she pig, and then they mate, they have kids, and that's it. If this female pig would go to another male pig, so this pig, the male pig, who was her partner before, will not lament. But in the human society, that's different case. If your husband, your partner goes to another man or woman, then we will become like, oh, so much distress, so much trouble in our mind, yeah, so much fighting. So in that way, actually, the animals, they are more expert in enjoying the senses than the human, and they don't have to work. We don't see any animals has office to work just to maintain their body. Yeah, somehow or other it is provided. But we artificially, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned in his statement to this purport, that self-created duty. Remember that earlier we had read that self-created duty. That means we are creating unnecessary duties in our lives and wasting so much time. Yeah. So Naradama, that is the mentality of those who are Naradama. Lowest among men means uncultured. Yeah, although they may put on nice coat, nice dress, but if they don't have any attraction toward religious activities, they are considered to be Naradama, uncivilized. But in modern day society, civilization means when you have nice job, nice nice car, nice house. Yeah, this is called civilization. But the real meaning of civilization is that when we can utilize this human form of life for a higher purpose. All right, and then the next one, the next class of Duskriti is called Mayaya Pahrita Jnana, or those persons whose erudite knowledge has been nullified by the influence of illusory material energy. Yeah, scientists. They are mostly very learned fellows. They're philosophers, poets, literati, scientists, etc. But the illusory energy misguided them, and therefore they disobey the Supreme Lord. All the unauthorized interpretations of the Gita by the class of Mayayaparita Jnana outside the purview of the Parampara system are so many stumbling blocks on the path of spiritual understanding. You see, of course, Srila Prabhupada mentions here also about philosophers, poets, scientists, literary, etc. Yeah, and here Prabhupada specifically mentioned about those who are giving their own mental concoction, their own interpretation on the Gita. On the Gita, if we remember, clearly remember, Srila Prabhupada's statement in the introduction of the Bhagavad Gita as it is. Srila Prabhupada mentioned why uh, why he created this Bhagavad Gita as it is. Why he has to write the purport to the Bhagavad Gita. There are so many Bhagavad Gitas, more than 200 editions of Bhagavad Gitas in those days, 50 years ago when Srila Prabhupada there. But why he should undergo so much trouble to, compile the purport to the Gita and name it as it is? Because all these Gitas, they are actually failure to convince people to become Krishna's devotees. Yeah. After all, the Bhagavad Gita, the conclusion of the Gita is that Sarva Dharman Parityaja. But when we are studying the Bhagavad Gita, when we read the Bhagavad Gita, listen to Bhagavad Gita, but not achieving that point of Sarva Dharman Parityaja, that means it's a failure. So of course there are two causes of the failure. First, maybe because we are not so accepting, not acceptant. As the receiver, we are not so acceptant. And then another reason is that the commentary that we are reading by non-devotees, they are giving their own mental speculation, concoction, incorrect, and giving wrong interpretation, wrong conclusion for the Gitas. And most of the Gitas nowadays we find giving ultimately monistic conclusion, and that's actually misguiding. Krishna is a person, God is a person. Yeah, God, Krishna speaks directly to his devotees, speaks directly the Bhagavad Gita. Dharmam tu saksat Bhagavad pranitam. The Supreme Lord, Dharma, is actually enunciated directly by the Supreme Lord. Saksat means directly. Bhagavad pranita, directly given by the Lord. So Krishna was speaking the Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. So because he knows the Gita, but the non-devotees interpret in another way. But actually that person, Krishna, actually the person who speaks the Bhagavad Gita is not that person, but someone who's inside that person. And that is the impersonal Brahman. Yeah. But Srila Prabhupada explains that Krishna, there is no difference between Krishna's body and his soul, because he's one. He's one. Yeah, he's one. He has no material body. So his body is his soul for Krishna. So yeah, I should be very careful. And then the last one, the last class of Duskriti is called Ashuram Bhavam Ashritaha, or those of demonic principles. Envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the atheist will present a number of illicit incarnations manufactured in the factory of his brain. Therefore, Srila Prabhupada concluded toward the end of his purport, therefore, grossly foolish persons, the lowest of mankind, the deluded speculators, and the professed atheists, as above mentioned, never surrender unto the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, in spite of all scriptural and authoritative advice, in spite of anything, because their, especially the Ashuram Bhava Masrita, their main focus in life is just for, fulfilling their sense gratification. Yeah, Mati na Krishna parata swatova. Mati na Krishna. They will not get the attraction toward Krishna. Para swatova. Parata swatova. Para means others' advice. Others' advice. When others giving advice that yes, you have to surrender to Krishna, they will reject it. Swatova means their own desire. They don't have their own desire to surrender to Krishna because Mitho vipadyeta griha vratanam. Mitho vipadyeta griha vratanam. The attachment, especially toward sexual activities, maituna. Mitho grihadye, what is that? Griha vratanam. Griha means the field, the house, the family. Those who are too attached to the body and its extension, namely the family members. It's hard for them to surrender to Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada said these four types of people, they will never surrender to Krishna. So now in Kali Yuga, most of the people are like this. Then what is the chance for this kind of people to become devotees? Yeah, of course, this Kali Yuga where we are in, actually very special. Very special because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission is, he is known as Patita Pawan, one who uplift the fallen. So the more fallen we are, don't take this statement seriously. Yeah, the more fallen we are, the bigger chance we get to be delivered by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, like Jagai and Madai. Yeah, is that true? Yes, it is true. Actually, it is true. After all, everybody in this Kali Yuga are fallen, degraded, But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Yadi Papichadi Dharma Dure Desh, Yaya Mora Senapati Bhakta, Yai Bhet. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sends his Senapati Bhakta, Srila Prabhupada, just to uplift us. Just to uplift us. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Patita Pawan, so also his pure devotee is also Patita Pawan. Patita means fallen. Yeah. Right. Patita Pawan. Pawan means to uplift. So like that. Devotees are so merciful. So that's about the four types of Duskritina. So in a lecture to that verse, Srila Prabhupada in Vrindavan in the 1976 says, so we have to face them. Our Krishna consciousness movement is facing these rascals, these Duskritina, these Naradamas, and to request them to become Krishna conscious. This is Krishna consciousness movement. One who is facing dangerous position for others' benefit, they are very quickly recognized by Krishna. So let us dedicate this life for preaching Krishna consciousness all over the world. Never mind we die by preaching. Still, it will be glorious. Very significant here. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that yes, in Kali Yuga, most of the peoples are Duskritina, yeah, rascals. Narada, rascal is one of Srila Prabhupada's favorite words. Yeah, and Srila Prabhupada said, yes, It is dangerous position. To become a preacher is not at all easy. So many opposition. Yeah, it's not at all easy to become a preacher. But for others' benefit, we have to sacrifice even our life. And if we die also, that would be glorious, Srila Prabhupada said. And that would be glorious. Srila Prabhupada got 2 heart attacks. No problem. If I die, that also will be glorious. If he success, that will be glorious. Just like the Kshatriya principle. Die in the battlefield is also glorious because he will get heaven. When a Kshatriya die in the battlefield, he gets promotion. Swarga dwaram apavritam. Yeah. So he gets the promotion to heavenly planet. And if he wins, he will enjoy the kingdom. So both glorious. So pure devotee or devotee preachers, those who are preaching, both are glorious, whether success or die. When his preaching is successful, he will be glorified. He will be glorified. Krishna will put him in a such position that he will be glorified. And if he die by doing his preaching, he also will be glorified. Oh, he's such a soul, great soul, to sacrifice his life just to save others. Just to save others. Compassion. Being compassionate is one of the most important quality of a preacher. Most important quality. Sochetato vimukachetasa indriya. Prahlad Maharaj Sochetato. He said that I'm sad. Socha means lamenting. I'm lamenting for what? For these fools and rascals. Because they don't surrender to Krishna. Okay, that's about the Skritina, text number 15. So now text number 16. Anybody would like to read this verse? You just unmute yourself. Maybe Vanamali Prabhu, would you like to read the verse? Or anybody? All right, if nobody.
Nobody.
Yes, would you like to read?
I will try to. Chaturvidya bhajante mam janaha sukrino arjuna atyatyo jigyasu arthati jnani cha bharatarshava.
Yeah, translation also.
Oh, best among the Bharatas, 4 kinds of pious men being to render devotional service unto me: the distressed, the desire of wealth, the inquisitive, and he who is searching for knowledge of the Absolute.
Thank you. So these are the Sukriti. Yeah. Text number 15 discussing about Duskriti. Text number 16 discussing about 4 types of Sukriti, pious people. Yeah. The Artho, Jigyasu, Arthati, and Gyani. Artha means those who are in distress. Jigyasu means inquisitive. Arthati, those who desire for wealth, and Gyani, those who are searching for knowledge. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada's purport. When these 4 kinds of persons come to the Supreme Lord for devotional service and are completely purified by the association of a pure devotee, they also become pure devotees. As far as the miscreants are concerned, for them, devotional service is very difficult because their lives are selfish, irregular, and without spiritual goals. But even some of them, by chance, when they come in contact with a pure devotee, also become pure devotees. You see? So these 4 types of people This verse is not talking about pure devotees. These people talking about those who have material desires, but they are pious. So this is the difference between those who are pious and impious. Those who are pious, when they have material desire, they will approach Krishna to fulfill their material desires, their distress. Yeah, Artha, their distress. Artha Jigyasu. Jigyasu, they are inquisitive. Artha Arthi, they are desiring wealth. Jnani, interesting in knowledge. So the pious people, when they have material desire to be fulfilled, they will approach God. But the impious people, when they have material desire, they will do anything sinful to fulfill their material desires. So that is the difference between the pious and impious. Pious people will do positive things. Impious people will do negative things to fulfill their material desires. So the example of Artha, Artha means one who is suffering, is Gajendra, and a Jigyasu is curious. He inquisitively approaches Krishna to understand the soul or to become self-realized. So the example given is Sonakarishi is an example. Yeah. So, and then Dhruva Maharaj is an example of an Artharti. And the fourth category, Agyani, the four Kumaras, are the examples of this type of pious soul, Jnani. All right. So that's about the four types of pious people. Yeah, Artho, Jigyasu, Arthati, and Jnani. And later, Krishna will explain that amongst these four was the best. The Jnani is the best. Why? We will see why. Of those, one who is in full knowledge and who is always engaged in pure devotional service is best. Yeah. For I am very dear to him, and he is dear to me. But out of them, he who is in knowledge of the absolute truth and free from all material desires become a really pure devotee of the Lord. By searching after knowledge, one realizes that his self is different from his material body, and when further advanced, he comes to the knowledge of impersonal Brahman and Paramatma. When one is fully purified, he realizes that his constitutional position is to be the eternal servant of God. So by association with pure devotees, the inquisitives, the distressed, the seeker after material amelioration, and the men in knowledge all become themselves pure. But in the preparatory stage, the man who is in full knowledge of the Supreme Lord and is at the same time executing devotional service is very dear to the Lord. Yeah. So Jnani is the best, yeah, amongst these four, because Jnani, they don't have material desire. They completely understand that they are not the body. Yeah. They are distress, of course. They want to get relief from their distress, and that's considered to be material desire. Please, Lord, they approach God because they are in distress. If they are not in distress, they will not approach God. Okay. And then Arthati, obviously, they have material desire. They want some wealth. Jigyasu, they want to know something. And then the Jnani, they already have this knowledge about the Atma Tattva Gyan. And when their knowledge is developed, they will understand also the Sambandha Gyan between the Jiva and the Bhagavan. And then when they engage in devotional service, that's how Krishna said here that out of these four, those who are in full knowledge, full of knowledge and engage in my service, constantly engage in my service is very dear to me. So the Jnani is the best among these four. Yeah, amongst these four, the Jnanis are the best because the only reason is that they have no material desire. For example, if you have a friend, and then if you are a rich guy, okay, your friend, whenever he comes to you, he keep asking for something, money, or oh, let's go here and there and try to you know utilizing your wealth, then you will feel the sense of like being annoyed. Oh, this guy is making friendship with me because I'm rich. Okay, still he is my friend, but he's annoying. But when somebody is genuinely making friendship with you despite of anything, whether you are rich or poor or whatever, so for them, for that kind of person is very dear to us. Yeah, we have this term now in our modern days is gold digger. That means one who is approaching you simply for money. He wants just to squeeze your pocket. So similarly, Krishna is also like that. When we approach Krishna for something, material things, Krishna, of course, being the father of all living entities, he will fulfill their desires. But at the same time, he's not so pleased. Sometimes he may get annoyed also. Yeah. But when we approach Krishna out of our genuine love, yeah, that actually very much pleasing to Krishna. I approach you, I worship you because I want to please you. That's it. I don't want anything. Yeah. Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhakti radoksaje ahai tuki apratihata ayatmasu prashidati. So ahai tuki and apratihata, uninterrupted, unmotivated. Yaya atma suprasidati. And that's actually the only things can satisfy the self. Because we don't need to ask Krishna for our own happiness actually. It's automatically will be derived by us. Yayatma suprasidati. When Krishna is pleased. And how to please Krishna? By unmotivated and uninterrupted service. Ahaituki and apratihata. Unmotivated and uninterrupted. No material motivation. Unmotivated means no material motive. Our only motive approaching Krishna is just to please him. That's it. That's spiritual motive, transcendental motive. Text number 18, all these devotees are undoubtedly magnanimous souls. But he who is situated in knowledge of me, I consider to be just like my own self. Atma Maya, Krishna mentioned that. Atma Maya. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal. Krishna says, okay, these four type of people, Arto, Jigyasu, Artarti, Jnani, they are not pure devotees, but still I consider them to be great soul. Because whoever approach Krishna is actually a great soul. In the beginning, remember, Krishna says in the beginning of 7th chapter, Manushyanam Sahasresu, in the text number 3, if I'm not mistaken. Manushyanam Sahasresu, Kashit Yatati Sidaye Yatatamapi Sidan, Kashin Mamveti Tatvata. So Manushyanam Sahasresu, among millions of men, Sahasra means thousand, hundred and thousand, million probably. Kashit Yatati Sidaye, hardly one attain perfection. Yatatamapishidanam, amongst those who attain the perfection, Ashim Mamveti Tatvataha. Hardly even one knows Krishna in truth. So approaching Krishna, although with material desire, still is very, very special. Because, however, by this kind of approach, even with material desire, one will get purification and ultimately will become pure devotee. One will regret why I have asked this to Krishna, from Krishna. Such a stupid things. Like Dhruva Maharaj, for example. Like Dhruva Maharaj, for example. He is approaching Lord Narayan for, greater kingdom than Brahma. But then later he, of course, lament. Yeah. Stana bilasi tapasi stitoham tom praptavan deva moninda guhyam kachan vichinva. Said kachan vichinva. All this that I have asked is just like broken pieces of glass. Useless. Swamin kritatosmi vadam nayachin. Because when I get your darshan, that's actually the topmost goal in life, actually. Then this is just useless thing. Just like Dhruva Maharaj said, just like a foolish beggar knocking the door of a rich man, simply asking for some grain, some broken grain of rice. Actually, the rich man is capable to give more than that, but a foolish person will ask a small thing. So similarly, Dhruva Maharaj said like that. Similarly, I'm asking you for something which is insignificant. I would have asked pure devotional service to you, oh my Lord, but so foolishly I'm asking this kingdom, and still I have to be bound here in the material world. Yeah. So still approaching Krishna, although with material desire, is considered to be a great person, a great soul by Krishna himself here. But what Krishna says about those who are free from material desire and constantly engage in devotional service, but he who is situated in knowledge of me, in knowledge of me means free from material desire, understanding our real position and our real purpose is just to please Krishna. Krishna says, I consider to be just like my own self. Of course, there is no one can be equal to God. Yeah. Krishna is asama urdhva. There is no person can be equal. What to speak of higher than God? Nobody. But Krishna says, I consider just like my own self. That means how we treat ourselves. How we treat ourselves. That's how we treat the person that we love, right? We don't want to hurt ourselves. So similarly, we will not hurt the person whom we love. That means a pure devotee is very, very dear to Krishna. As much as how he loved himself. Even sometimes Krishna doesn't care about himself as far as a pure devotee is concerned. Yeah, for Krishna, breaking his own vow is nothing, no problem. But he doesn't want to make the word of his pure devotee, the promise of his pure devotee, break up. Yeah, when Bhishma said, "Tomorrow I will make Krishna taking up some weapon. Tomorrow I'll make Krishna breaking his vow," because Krishna asked Arjuna to take these 5 arrows from Duryodhana, which actually Bhishma gave to Duryodhana, 5 arrows to kill the 5 Pandavas next day. But Krishna asked Arjuna, go to Duryodhana and ask, because such a culture those days that during the day they are fighting, and at night everybody is like friends. Yeah, everybody is like friends. And Duryodhana once he was promising the Pandavas, especially he was promising Arjuna when he was captured in the forest by the king of the Gandharvas. So Arjuna was helping Duryodhana, and Duryodhana said, "Whatever you ask, brother, tell me, I shall fulfill it now." And Krishna told Arjuna, no, keep it. When we need, now I don't have anything to ask, but when we need, I will ask. Duryodhana said, anytime, anytime. And finally, Krishna reminds Arjuna about that incident and asks Arjuna, go there and ask for the 5 arrows. So in that way, Bhishma became very furious, and he took a vow that tomorrow I shall break Krishna's vow. And for Krishna, okay, I give my vows, no problem. Many times I lie in life, Krishna says. Many times I lie in life. Yeah. Yeah. Start from his childhood, lying. He's stealing butter. He said, no, I'm not stealing. Mother Yasoda said, and the gopi said, oh, the proof is there. Look at the butter in your mouth. And Krishna said, no. Actually, these monkeys taking the butter, they eat the butter, and when they fed up, when they're tired with this butter, they start throwing the butter and smear on my lips. I never steal this. So Krishna was lying. Krishna ate dirt. Krishna said, no, I never ate dirt. So for Krishna, breaking his word is nothing. Anyway, he already practicing that since his childhood. But by the way, that's exceptional. Yeah. Therefore, when Krishna says to Arjuna, later we'll see in the 9th chapter, Kontiya Prati Janihi Nami Bhakta Pranasati, declare, O Arjuna, that my devotee shall never perishes. It's not Krishna said that my devotee shall never perishes. No, Krishna was asking Arjuna, declare, O Arjuna, because you are my pure devotee. My pure devotee will never, it will be always Satyam. Yeah, Satyam Vidatum Nijabritya Vasita. Last week we have discussed this. The word of pure devotee will be always taken care by Krishna, and that will become a truth. But if Krishna says something, maybe somebody will doubt. But not with the statement of Sarva Dharman Parityaja. Yeah, not with that statement. Krishna gives the insurance. Yeah, Mahasucha, don't worry, I take care. That word of Krishna we shall trust. Okay, we have to move on. Srila Prabhupada's purport. It is not that devotees who are less complete in knowledge are not dear to the Lord. Okay. So when Krishna mentioned here, those who are situated in knowledge of me is very dear to Krishna. But Prabhupada explained it doesn't mean that who have less knowledge of Krishna, as long as he's devotees, as long as they are devotees, they are very, very dear to Krishna. Very special for Krishna. The devotees who want some benefit out of devotional service are accepted by the Lord because there is an exchange of affection. Out of affection, they ask the Lord for some material benefit. And when they get it, they become so satisfied that they also advance in devotional service. But the devotee in full knowledge is considered to be very dear to the Lord because his only purpose is to serve the Supreme Lord with love and devotion. Yeah. So Sakama devotees, not at all bad. Yeah. Because when the Sakama devotees, their desire fulfilled by the Lord, Sakama devotees, they're asking something from Krishna. And when Krishna fulfills that desire, so they become, more convinced. And then their love for Krishna actually will increase. Yeah. Oh, my Lord is so kind. He's fulfilling my desire. Okay, let me surrender more to Krishna. If I surrender this much and Krishna is reciprocating this much, then I should surrender more to Krishna. So that's pious people. Text number 19. Yeah, this is how devotional service is very rare, how a great soul is very rare. This is one of the many verses that Srila Prabhupada used to quote whenever he talks about great souls. Yeah, Mahatma. Bahunam janmanamante gyanavan mam prapadyante vasudeva sarvam iti sa Mahatma sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, he who is actually in knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such great soul is very rare. So after many, many births, bahunam janmanam. Janmanam ante means the end, means taking the repetition of birth and death. And when finally a person, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti, understanding that Vasudeva is all in all, the cause of everything is Vasudeva, then Samahatma Sudurlabha, he is considered to be Mahatma, great soul, and that great soul is Sudurlabha, yeah, very, very rare. Therefore, devotees is very precious, very rare. One, maybe one out of 1,000. Srila Prabhupada's purport. In the beginning of spiritual realization, while one is trying to give up one's attachment to materialism, there is some leaning toward impersonalism. But when one is further advanced, he can understand that there are activities in the spiritual life and that these activities constitute devotional service. Yeah, just like the Kumaras, they are Gyanis. So there is tinge of impersonalism. They are called Brahmavadi. Yeah, Brahmavadi, impersonalism also. But when their understanding is mature, advancing, and then they will become pure devotee. Of course, in the previous purport, Srila Prabhupada explained how people become devotee by getting contact with the pure devotees. Yeah, by getting contact with the pure devotee. This is from the Sarandaran to me. Bhakti is rare even among Gyanis. Yeah, Samahatma Sudurlabha. And its development usually takes a long time. Bhunam Janmanam Anti. Association with pure devotees quickens the process. You see, exactly here it is mentioned that by associating oneself with the pure devotees actually quickens the process, because by association one hears and chants about Krishna, the subject of the first part of this chapter. Yeah, Tachrinu. Remember, Krishna says in the first chapter, Tachrinu, hear about Krishna, whose glories are the essence of transcendental knowledge. One thus understands that Vasudeva Krishna is everything. Yeah, Vasudeva Saram, it is nicely explained by Gurijan Prabhu in this verse. Yeah, all part of the verse. Yeah, hearing. Because yat sangalabdham nijaviryavai bhavam tirtam muhu samsprisatam himanasam haratya jonta srutibir gatong gajam. Srutibi means to hear. When we associate with the devotees, what devotees like to talk, just like what the businessmen like to talk about business, like to talk about money, yeah, marketing. But devotees, what devotees love to talk about Krishna, Krishna's pastimes, about great devotees' pastime. So we get the opportunity to hear this. Yat sanga labdham, yat sanga labdham, javirya vaishitam. So, ko vaina seveta mukunda vikrama. And who will not associate with such a person who carry Lord Mukunda within their heart? Ko vai, means who will not? Ko vai na seveta. Who will not associate with pure devotees? Only fools and rascals will not associate with pure devotees. Yeah, because those who are non-devotees, just like saying goes, the bluebird will flock together with another bluebird. So devotees love to associate with another devotees. Like-minded. We heard this term, like-minded. Like-minded means having same mind, same mentality, like-minded. Swavid Varahaushtra Karahi Samsuta Purusha Pashu Nayad Karna Patopeto Jatu Nama Gadagraja. Those who are like dog, Swavid, like pig, Varaha, Ustra, like camel, Karaihi, like donkey. We will praise those those people like dog, like pig, like hog, like camel, and like donkey. Nayat karna pato peto. They will never use their karna, their ear, to hear about Jatu Nama Gadagraja, to hear about the glories of Krishna's name, fame, quality, and pastime, of course. Yeah. So the four type of people, they will not get, they will not associate with pure devotees. Yeah. So we are advised here to associate with pure devotees. If we have some pious tendency in our heart, being honest, yeah, we associate with devotees, that will quicken the process, that will awaken the bhakti a lot of age within our heart. Yeah, devotees association. Kawai na sevita. Kawai na sevita. Who will not associate with pure devotees? Srila Prabhupada's lecture on that verse, text number 19. Now, this research work about the science of God has to be prosecuted for several birth after birth, bahunam janmanamante, after many births. God realization, it is very easy, but at the same time, it is very difficult. Easy for them who accept it as truth, and those who are trying to understand by dint of his knowledge, advancement of knowledge. He has to create his faith after he finishes his research work. Then that takes many, many births. Bahunam janmanamate. Yeah. Self-realization, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, it's difficult, but at the same time also it's easy. Difficult is for those difficult, easy is for the easy. Yeah. For example, like we from the eastern part of the world, yeah. For me, especially for me, when I heard, okay, Krishna is God, somehow or other I accept it very easily. Okay, Krishna is God. Yeah, he's God. He's God. No problem. I accept. But those who love to speculate, those who love to do some research, okay, what is the proof that Krishna is God? Okay, he's doing this, that, and so on. Therefore, it is advised that we have to read the Bhagavatam systematically from the first canto, because we will find about creation, starting from the third canto, second, third canto, 4 or 5 canto, about creation. Then we will understand the intricacies of this creation, and ultimately the root of all creations is Krishna. And therefore, in the 10th canto, whatever Krishna does, we will not, our faith will not be shaken. Yeah, because we already have the firm faith. Yes, this person is God, therefore he can do whatever he wants. And this person is God, therefore it's easy for him to lift the Govardhan hill. Yeah, lifting a 7-year-old boy, lifting a hill, a big, humongous hill, with his left hand. Normally, okay, most of the people, well, some people, many people, of course, in this world, they are left-handed, but most of us, we are right-handed. Yeah, so when we are right-handed, and Krishna is right-handed, when we are right-handed, when we do something with our left hand, that's actually indicating that that thing is very insignificant. Insignificant. Okay, easy. Yeah, we lift normally heavy things using right hand, but when we can lift with the left hand, that means it's nothing. So on top of that, left hand, and he used the weakest fingers. Out of these fingers, the little finger is considered the smallest and the weakest. And he lifted the hill with the little finger, just to tell Indra that, look, how powerful I am. Then if we don't understand about Krishna Tattva Gyan, we may think that this pastime is just story for the kids before sleeping. it is not at all real. We may think like that, because it's impossible to conceive that how small child lift a big hill. Yeah, it's impossible. No, that's not true, because our eyes is imperfect and we never experience this in life. So when Krishna performed his superhuman activities, and when we understand his position, for us it is not something that wonderful. It's something normal for Krishna. If he can create millions, millions of universes, then what is the problem for him just to live a Govardhan hill? Not at all a problem. So that devotee's approach. Okay, that was the first part of our discussion. We have to run here a little bit. Text number 20 to 25. We have another 11 verses to go. Demigod worshippers and impersonalists whose surrender is misplaced. Absolutely. Verse 20 to 23 describe, verses 20 to 23 describe less intelligent persons who worship demigods for material gain. Yeah. Antavatu palam tesam. Antavatu palam. And then verses 24 to 25 describe the impersonalists who surrender to formless aspect of Krishna. They cannot see Krishna, who covers himself from their vision. Okay, text number 20. Kama istai jnana prapadyante niyadevata tam tam niyamamastaya prakrita niyata swaya. So kama is istai jnana. When one's heart is full of kama, he lost his intelligence and he will surrender to the demigod. Those whose intelligence has been stolen by material desires. Yeah, kama is Ritagyana. Surrenders unto demigod prapadyante nya devata and follow the particular rules and regulation of worshipping according to their own natures. Yeah. For example, all these demons, yeah, Vrikasura, Ranyakasipu, and this is what is his name? Mahesasura. Yeah, Mahesasura, worshipping Brahma. So anybody who has material desire for quick result, because demigods very easy to be pleased, very easy to be pleased, and give the result immediately. Sometimes when they award the boon of what was being asked by their worshipper, sometimes that's also will create havoc in their lives. Yeah, like Shiva many times. Shiva giving boon to this demon Vrikasura, that whatever he will touch will burn to ashes. So now Shiva has to run for his life. And also like Brahma giving boon to Hiranyakasipu, and he's also get the disturbance, and also this demon Mahesasura. Prabhupada's purport, as long as the material contamination is not completely washed off, they are by nature non-devotees. But even those who have material desires and who resort to the Supreme Lord are not so much attracted by external nature. Because of approaching the right goal, they soon become free from all material lusts. This is the beauty of being Krishna's devotee or approaching Krishna. Very soon, Prabhupada said, soon they become free from all material lusts. Because Krishna is there. Pavitram, the Mahapavitram, Param Brahma, Param Dharma, Pavitram Paramam. He is the purest of all pure things. A pure devotee never goes to demigods for satisfaction of his material needs. He depends on the Supreme Lord, and a pure devotee is satisfied with whatever he gives. First of all, a pure devotee means he doesn't have any material desire. And even when a pure devotee I don't know how to put this word, but even when a pure devotee has some material desire, he remains faithful to Krishna and just asks from Krishna. And as Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, and whatever given by the Lord, he will satisfy. That means even a pure devotee sometimes had material desires, but he will not be disturbed when his material desire is unfulfilled. He remains satisfied in his life. Yeah, he remains satisfied. It doesn't mean that a pure devotee, a great Mahatma, completely from lust. Just like, of course, the ideally, a pure devotee has no material desire, has no lust anymore. But just like the spiritual master of Ramanujacharya, what is his name? Yamunacharya. Yeah, Yamunacharya says, Yadavadi mamachita Krishna padaravinde nava nava rasa damanyudatam randumashit Yadavadi bata nari sangamas marhyamane bhavati mukha vikara sustu nistivanamcha. So nari sangami means association with women. So he said that, okay, because I'm developing taste for service at Krishna's lotus feet. So whenever I thought, whenever my mind is thinking about sexual affair with a woman, immediately I spit in my mind. What does it mean? He's an acharya. We may think that, oh, come on, he's an acharya. But he said that whenever I think about enjoying sex with women, that means because we are in the material body, forced by the three modes of material nature, so sometimes this thought may come to our mind, despite of our sadhana, our practice. But it is the nature because we get the impression since millions of lifetimes. So even he, an acharya, can think about enjoying the sex. But the thing is that immediately he spit in mind. He feel disgusted. That means he is not disturbed with his thought of this enjoying with the opposite sex. Yeah. But for a non-devotee, when they have this thought, immediately they want to execute it. So that's the difference. So as long as we are not committing the sins, so we are remain pure. So Srila Prabhupada was asked, how many pure devotees do we have in ISKCON? And Srila Prabhupada said, how many of our devotees chanting 16 rounds and following the four regulative principles? That many devotees we have pure. That's many pure devotees we have in ISKCON. That means what? Now we are following the four regulative principles, right? But honestly, in my own case, so I'm a lasting man. Whenever I see a beautiful woman, immediately a bad thought come to my mind. But as long as the sin, the activities is not being executed, we are remaining pure. Therefore, we have to follow the four regulative principles. Sometimes mentally we enjoy sense gratification. Yeah. And it's hard to control the mind. Therefore, we have this practice. Following these four regulative principles, the purpose is that to keep us remain pure. That's it. Of course, that's another level of purity. But if we are looking for a pakka understanding about pure, pure means no lusty desire, no material desire. Pure, 100%, 10%, only Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna. We have 15 minutes. Text number 21. I am in everyone's heart as the super soul. As soon as one desires to worship some demigod, I make his faith steady to that, so that he can devote himself to that particular deity. Krishna here, being so merciful, fulfilling everyone's desire, including if any jiva desires to worship demigod, which is another jiva also. Krishna give faith to that person to worship that demigod. This is the proof that actually Krishna is a loving father for all living entities. He strengthens his faith because this is actually the karma kanda path. Karma kanda path. And by performing this karma kanda, gradually, very slowly, people will be upgraded to the level of karma yoga finally. Yeah, if we study, remember the first 6 chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, we discussed there about the yoga ladder, step by step, from karma kanda to karma yoga to dhyana to buddhi, bhakti yoga, like this. So the purpose is that something is better than nothing. That's the principle here. Something is better than nothing. Worshipping demigod is better than not worshipping any personality or being atheistic. Okay, of course, that is a misplaced surrender. This is the topic here that we are discussing. Worshipping demigod or worshipping the impersonal Brahman is a misplaced surrender. But still, we are surrendering. That means we are accepting a higher authority. So the demigods, being the devotees of the Lord, being devotees of the Lord, actually indirectly the demigod worshippers, actually they want to worship God, but because they are thinking demigods are the God, then that's considered to be misplaced surrender. But the good thing is that they have the mentality of being surrendered. They have the surrendering mentality, and that's good. That will help them to elevate their position, but very, very slow. Very, very slow. Karma kanda. Some may ask why the all-powerful God gives facilities to the living entities for enjoying this material world, and so lets them fall into the trap of illusory energy. The answer is that if the Supreme Lord as Super Soul does not give such facilities, then there is no meaning of independence, okay? Because Krishna gives us independency, minute independence. Otherwise, if Krishna fully restrict us, then there is no meaning of independence. And this independency given to us is actually the manifestation of his love. Therefore, he gives everyone full independence. Prabhupada said here, full independence. Whatever one likes, but his ultimate instruction we find in the Bhagavad Gita, one should give up all other engagements and fully surrender to him. That will make man happy. Okay, Sarvadharman Parityaja. Krishna gives us independency. Okay, you are free to do this, but you have to remember, if you do this, this is the consequences. But I want you to be like this, Sarvadharman Parityaja, just like a loving parent. Okay, my dear boy, my dear daughter, my dear girl, if you want to be like this, do it, but this is the consequences. But as far as my desire is concerned, this is my desire. I want you to become good boy, good girl. So Krishna is also like that. Yeah. Text number 22. Endowed with such faith, he endeavors to worship a particular demigod and obtains his desire. But in actuality, these benefits are bestowed by me only. You see, demigods being the managerial one who's holding the managerial affairs of this material universe. Actually, they are working under the Lord. Yeah, they are working under the Lord. The Lord is the owner, and the demigods just holding some posts, managerial posts. And when people worship demigods, so before sanctioning what they ask from the demigods, so the demigods should consult to Krishna. If Krishna sanction, then only the demigod can sanction. The demigods cannot award benediction to their devotees without the permission of the Supreme Lord. The living entity may forget that everything is the property of the Supreme Lord, but the demigods do not forget. So the worship of demigods and achievement of desired results are due not to the demigods, but to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by arrangement. And the fruits that demigods offer, their worshipper are ultimately awarded by Krishna. Okay, we have to be quick a little bit. Here it is, the result of demigod worship. Antavatu palam tesam tad bhavati alpamedasam devan devaya joyanti madbhakta yanti mamapi. Men of small intelligence worship the demigods, and their fruits are limited and temporary. Those who worship the demigods go to the planets of demigods, but my devotees ultimately reach my supreme planet. Yeah. Devan Deva Yajo Janti. Janti means destination. Yeah. Mad Bhakta, my devotee, Janti Mamapi. This statement will be clearly repeated by Krishna in the 9th chapter. Yeah. Yanti Deva Brata Devan Pitri Yanti Priti Brata Bhutani Janti Bhuteja Janti Madhyakino. Yanti Deva Brata Deva. Those who worship the demigods will go to the planets of demigods. Yeah. Pitri Yanti Pitri Brata. Those who worship the ancestor will go to ancestor. Bhutani Janti Bhuteja. Those who worship ghosts will live among the ghosts. But those who worship Krishna, Yanti Gayanti Mamapi, will go to Krishna's abode. Just like we buy ticket. Yeah. If we buy ticket from Calcutta to Delhi, so we will reach to Delhi, right? If you want to go to America, buy your ticket to America. Don't buy to Australia. If you have a ticket destined to America, so your destination is America. So similarly like that, if you worship demigods, your destination will be living among the demigods. If you worship Krishna, your destination is living with Krishna. Simple logic. Here the point may be raised that if demigods are different parts of the body of the Supreme Lord, then the same end should be achieved by worshipping them. However, worshippers of demigods are less intelligent because they don't know to what part of the body food must be supplied. Yatha tarormulani se chanena yanti tat skanda bujupasakaha prano paharachyatin jnana tataiva sharvarhana marchteya. So when we feed the stomach, so all parts of the body will be energized. So similarly, when we water the root of a tree, all the branch, twigs, leaves, other parts of the trees will be nourished. So similarly, Krishna is the root of the demigods. Demigods is like the branch, like the leaves. If we water only the leaf, the tree may not sustain. But if we water the root, then the tree will sustain, remain alive. Text number 24, Avyaktam Vyaktimapanam. Now we are transforming to the impersonalis. So that was about the demigod worship, misplaced surrender. Now we will see here text 24 and 25 about the misplaced surrender of the impersonalis. Avyaktam Vyaktim Apanam Manyanti Mama Buddhaya Param Bhavam Ajanato Mama Vyayamanut. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the personality of Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Yeah. Avyaktam Vyaktimapanam. Fools will think that, oh, this Krishna who speaks the Bhagavad Gita, he's actually the impersonal Brahman. Now he assumed this personality, and when he gives up his body, so he will merge into Brahman. So that's the fool's thought. Yeah. Abudaya means less intelligent person. Abudaya. the Mayavadi, the impersonalist, is considered abuddhaya, less intelligent. Those who are worshippers of demigods have been described as less intelligent persons. And here the impersonalists are similarly described. Lord Krishna in his personal form is here speaking before Arjuna, and still due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that the Supreme Lord is ultimately has no form. You see, Krishna here clearly mentioned to Arjuna, as Srila Prabhupada described here. Krishna here clearly mentioned to Arjuna that the abuddhayaha will think that avyaktam vyaktimapanam, that I have no form, now I have form, and ultimately later again I will not have form. This is abuddhaya. Aram bhavam ajananto mama vyayam anutam. They don't know my aram bhavam, my higher nature. Aram bhavam ajana. Ajana means they don't know. Although Krishna clearly mentioned here to Arjuna that I am a person, that God is a person. God is a person. How can a formless thing create a form? How can someone without form can create such a gigantic universes? Where is the logic behind it? Okay, let's talk about logic. Yeah. The Big Bang theory is completely useless. It's completely failure. Prabhupada said, okay, the Big Bang theory, this world is created because of some, mixture of some chemical, and then there is some reaction, and finally there is an explosion, and the world is created. And Prabhupada laughed at that. And Prabhupada said, explosion simply annihilates something, simply destroys something. Yeah. So if we talk about logic, so it's illogical. So therefore, God must be a person, and therefore he can create these beautiful universes, unlimited universes, because he has hands to create. Oh, okay, we have 2 minutes here. Text 25. Nam prakasa sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha mudhoyam na vijanati lokumam ajam avyayam. I am never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I am covered by my internal potency, and therefore they do not know that I am unborn and inexhaustible. This is for the Mayavadi. Naham Prakasa, Krishna says, I don't reveal myself to the foolish and unintelligent. Yogamaya, I am covered by my potency. Mudha, again, use here. Mudha. Mudhoyam nabi janat. They don't know. They don't know that I'm Ajam, unborn, and Avyayam, inexhaustible. All right, that's clear. And then the last part of our discussion is bewilderment of the living entity and knowledge of Krishna. Please give me 5 minutes extension, extra time. Sorry for this. Text number 26. Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani chabhutani mam tu vedanakash. Krishna says, nobody knows me. Vedaham samatitani, nobody knows me. Mam tu vedanakashana, nobody knows me. Vedam samatitani. Krishna knows past, present, and future. Krishna knows all living entities. Yeah. O Arjuna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I know everything that has happened in the past, all that is happening in the present, and all things that are yet to come. I also know all living entities. Yeah. Bhavishyani cha bhutani. Cha means also bhutani, all living entities. But mamtu vedana kashana, but me, no one knows. That means hardly people understand Krishna. Yeah, Krishna knows everything, but hardly people understand Krishna. Then text number 27. Icha dvesa samutena dvandva mohena bharata sarva bhutani samaha sarge janti paramtuka. This is the bewilderment of the living entity. Yeah, the icha and dvesha, these two actually causing why we are here. O sons of Bharata, O conqueror of the four, all living entities are born into a delusion, mohena, bewildered by dualities, dvandva, mohena, samoha, delusion. So bewildered by dualities arisen from icha and dvesa, desire and hate. Icha, desire, this is in Bengali also. Icha means hobby. Icha means hobby, desire, what you like, what you want. Dvesha means hate. So because we have desire to enjoy separately from Krishna, therefore we come here. And we hate God, why He's the only controller. Therefore we are here to exhibit our controlling mentality. Icha and dvesha. And welcome to the club, welcome to the material. If we can be free from these two things, icha and dvesha, definitely we will not be here. Okay, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadi plus three kleshas, Adidaiva, Adibhautika, Adhyatmika. And then text 28, Yesam tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva mohanir mukta bhajantimam dridha. So this is the qualification of one engages in devotional service. A person who have acted piously in previous lives and in this life. Yeah, punya karmanam means he has the pious credit, and then anta gatam papam, and whose sinful actions are completely eradicated, are free from the dualities of delusion, and they engage themselves in my service with determination. Dridha vrata means determination. Bhajante mam. Bhajante mam. If we free from the dualities. Okay. This elevation is possible if in Krishna consciousness, in the association of pure devotees. For in the association of great devotees, one can be delivered from delusion. Sometimes we may think that devotees are too nagging on us, on our ear, right there on your ear. Devotees keep telling you something. Sometimes if we don't have the Dridhavrata, we may get upset. But their only intention is actually to benefit ourselves. Our only duty is just to tolerate, Devotees are so merciful. Yeah. Right, let's see Srila Prabhupada's purport. Ham Brahmasmi, I am spirit. It is said that one should understand that he is Brahman, spirit. So this Brahman conception of life is also in devotional service as described in this verse. Oh, this is the next verse. Sorry, this is the next verse. Where we are? Oh yeah, here we are. Text number 28. That yeah, these are the two qualifications by which we can engage in Krishna's service. But on top of that, nowadays everybody is sinners. Everybody is sinner. But due to the devotees association, only we become devotees. Yeah, I told many times in my classes that Prabhupada was asked, like how Prabhupada was asked by his disciples, how we become devotees. We are so sinful. Did we ever perform any pious activities in our previous life? Prabhupada said no. If you are pious, you will be born in India. India is named as Janma Bhum. What is that? Punya Bhum. Punya Bhum means the pious land. Then obviously those who born in the West, full of passion and ignorance, impious. So Prabhupada said, if you are performing pious activities, maybe you have born in India, but you become devotee because of me. That means Bhakti can be given only by those who have bhakti, yeah, pure devotees. Okay, text number 29. Intelligent persons who are endeavoring for liberation from old age and death take refuge in me in devotional service. They are actually Brahman because they entirely know everything about transcendental activities. And then the last one is Sadi bhutai daivamam sadiyagyam cha ye viduhu prayana kalipi chamam te vidur yukta chetasa. Those who know me as the Supreme Lord, as the governing principle of material manifestation, who know me as one underlying all the demigods and as the one sustaining all sacrifices, Adiyagya, can with steadfast mind understand and know me even at the time of death. The seventh chapter particularly explains how one can become a fully Krishna conscious person. The beginning of Krishna consciousness is association of persons who are Krishna conscious. You see, repeatedly Srila Prabhupada mentioned about association, association, association. By gradual development of Krishna consciousness in good association, the living entity can understand that due to forgetfulness of Krishna, he has become conditioned by the laws of material nature. He can also understand that this human form of life is an opportunity to regain Krishna consciousness and that it should be fully utilized to attain the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. Again and again, Srila Prabhupada repeatedly mentioned about association. So this is the last slide. One who understands the sign of Krishna consciousness, sa adi bhutam adi daivam. So even at the time of his death, remain steady in that Krishna consciousness. And therefore, his next birth is not in this material world, but in the spiritual world. So Adi Bhutam, Adi Daivam, when we understand Krishna's position, Adi Bhutam, he is the master of all living entity, Adi Daivam, Adi Jagya, he is the benefactor of all sacrifices. Then no doubt, as Prabhupada said, our next life will not take birth again in this material world, but we take birth in the spiritual world. That means we go back to the spiritual world. So, okay, just to conclude this chapter, seventh chapter, that this chapter, as Srila Prabhupada explained, that the seventh chapter clearly explained that how we can start our bhakti. Yeah, the middle part of the Bhagavad Gita is discussing mainly about bhakti. Yeah. So it starts from hearing, Tachrinu, from whom we should hear, from devotees. And then as we discuss in the middle part of this chapter, that the three modes of material nature is very difficult to overcome. But mam evaye prapadyante mayamitam tarams. But by surrendering to Krishna, we can be delivered. Yeah. We can cross over. We can defeat the three modes of material nature. And it is impossible to get Krishna's shelter without taking shelter first to Krishna's devotees. Yeah. First, Krishna's devotees should be pleased. Okay. So this chapter talks about how, at the end, of course, the conclusion, the conclusion is that to know about Krishna, we are bewildered, and knowledge of Krishna can deliver us when we understand about Krishna Tattva. And we understand about Krishna Tattva only through devotees. Only through devotees. Yeah. Okay. That's the end of today's class. Whether anything need to be clarified from chapter 7, you may kindly ask, if any. Otherwise, we can stop here and we'll see you again on Monday. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.